हाय हेलो सत श्री अकाल यू ऑल आर वाचिंग पंजाब केसरी। मैं हूं आपके साथ नमिता सचदेव और आज हमारे साथ है इंडस्ट्री के द मोस्ट फिटेस्ट एक्टर एंड सुप्रीमली टैलेंटेड। यस आई एम टॉकिंग अबाउट मिस्टर मिलिंद सोमान। मिलिंद सर बहुत बहुत स्वागत, कैसे हैं आप?
थैंक यू, बहुत अच्छे। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
तो सर इन पौरुषपुर वी आर सीइंग अ डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ रोल दैट यू आर पोर्ट्रेइंग ऑन स्क्रीन. Since we have seen you playing different characters on screen, but this one is really special, I think, for you as well. So, how did this happen to you?
Yeah, so I always try to play something that I haven't played before. So all my roles are different
I know.
and challenging and all of that.
Yeah.
But this one happened, I mean, early this year, I think almost at the beginning of the year, maybe Jan, Feb. The producers came to me and said, we're making this series. And of course, I was interested because it's a medieval fantasy. I like historicals. I like mythologicals. I like costume dramas. So I said it's interesting, but they offered me the role of the king, and I was not interested in the role of the king.
Achha.
So then they came back to me after a couple of months with some more development, and then I saw another character who was against the king, and that was Boris. And I said, who is this guy? What does he do? So they told me a little bit about what they had thought about Boris, and I said, this is interesting, I can play this. So they said that Boris is a eunuch. Are you okay? You want to play a eunuch? I said, yeah, I think it'll be very, very interesting. And so they said yes, and we started to, they started to develop the character and the story, and that was it. It was a lot of fun collaborating.
Okay. So may I ask, why did you say no for the king's character?
Because I had played a king before, and I know all kings are different, and even in this king also is a very complex character, and Anu Kapoor, of course, has done an amazing job. But again, it was a king, so I was like, okay, is there anything else that I can do? I would love to be part of this, but some other character. So that was the only reason. It was not nothing very surprising or anything.
Okay, nothing personal in that case, I know. Okay, so can I ask you, how did you prepare for this role then, and did you talk to anyone in their community?
No, the preparation for this role was actually to stay away from the way they have been represented on screen. In the projects that we have seen. Most of the time they're stereotyped. And they're typecast in certain kind of costume, certain kind of mannerism, certain language, certain expression, and we wanted to really stay away from that. We wanted, Boris to be absolutely like any normal person, anybody any of the other characters, except that he has a different agenda. So there was no. Of course, the fact is that he is a whimsical character and he dresses the way he wants, and sometimes he wears a bindi and sometimes he wears jewelry. But we didn't want to really focus on that. In fact, when Satendra Bhatt, who's the director, and I discussed it, we said that the look in any case is so dramatic. We don't want to add anything on top of that. So let's try and find the human aspect of Boris. Let's see Boris the person and focus on Boris the person, not Boris the eunuch.
Okay. Acha, if I ask about do you think the third sex is getting their due in our mainstream cinema?
You can't ask me. I think you have to ask them. But then, like I said, there is a certain stereotyping mostly that I have seen. I remember a film that was made many years ago, maybe 25 years ago, called The Square Circle, with Sonali Kulkarni and Nirmal Pandey. And I think Nirmal Pandey was playing a eunuch. And in that, it was done so nicely and simply and beautifully that you really see Nirmal Pandey as the person, as the character. And that is something that we also wanted to do here. So, of course, I don't know what it means to do justice to a community, but I think we try to do justice to the character.
Okay, that's really nice. But did you take any references to prepare for your character?
So the thing is, 500 years ago or 600 or 700, we don't know when the kingdom is set or where this kingdom is. So it is a fantasy. So there isn't really any reference to it, except to actually approach it from the human angle. A person who is a eunuch, what would their experience have been in a heterosexual society or in a patriarchal society, and what kind of a person would have emerged from those experiences? Because even in Porishpur, there is no community. It's only Boris. He's alone. So we don't even know whether he knows any other people who are eunuchs or any other transgenders. We don't even know that because those characters are not there. So we had to look at it from the perspective of a person who is alone. And alone has an issue that he has to deal with, or is in a situation that he has to deal with, and how would he do that? So there were no possible references that we could have taken.
So what have you done in the quarantine then?
I was not in quarantine.
Okay.
There was a lockdown. I was not in quarantine. Some people were in quarantine who were infected. I was not in quarantine. So if you're asking what I was doing during the lockdown, I was attending office online. I was trying to figure out a way to stay sane during the lockdown, but I wasn't watching a lot of stuff, if that's your question, on television or anything else. I did watch more than I usually watch, which is nothing. So I did see maybe 2 or 3 series. I watched a lot of Friends again, which is now 15-20 years old. I watched Breaking Bad and stuff like that. Very old series that I had heard were very good. Vampire series. I love vampire series. So I like vampire stories and witches and vampires. So I watched the originals. I watched Vampire Diaries. So that's the kind of watching I did, but again, very sporadically, not binge watch. I don't binge watch.
Okay.
I might watch basically 1 or 2 episodes, or sometimes even half an episode, depending on how I feel.
Okay. One personal compliment from my side is, जो मैं personally देना चाहती थी जब भी आपका interview करती, because I like your character as Vikram Rajput in the series of DD. I think with Purbi Joshi and R. Madhavan, you played a role of a Navy officer, and I don't think no one had looked better than you as a Navy officer.
Thank you so much.
So Milind, you have been into the industry from last 2 decades. So what are your experiences working here? 3 decades. 3 decades.
Yeah. The experiences have been good, very, very good. I mean, everything that I have done, I have enjoyed it. The people that I have met have been wonderful. I think I've been very lucky to be able to do whatever I wanted, to experiment with whatever I wanted. I never really got into any controversies. And I think I've just been very, very lucky. And I've been able to choose exactly what I wanted to do.
But personally, if I ask, don't you think or don't you agree with that where Milind, this controversies goes hand in hand? Recently, when you posted your photograph on a beach, that attracted controversy, I believe.
That's not a controversy. I mean, I don't know what you think is a controversy, but that was just some people. That's opinions. People have opinions. Some people you do something, some people like it, some people don't like it. Those things happen all the time.
And are you happy with the?
But it's not like I did anything against the constitution. I didn't cheat anybody. I didn't murder anyone. So to me, that's controversial. It's like creates a real situation that. Has consequences, but these are small things.
The opinions, as you said, very rightly said, of course.
Opinions, and they're important because they show us how our culture is evolving. They show us how society is growing. They show that more and more people are coming onto the internet. They're coming from places where they're not really exposed to what is happening in the world, and suddenly they get shocked and then they respond. But after like a year or 2 years or so, they say, "Acha, this is the way the world is. We didn't even know." It's like in India how we discover when you travel, you say, "अच्छा पंजाब में ये होता है, मुझे तो पता नहीं था, this is very surprising, oh केरला में ऐसा होता है, ऐसे करते हैं, हो." Because you have come from your town, whichever it is, but once you start traveling and you start exploring and you are exposed to different cultures, and it's all Indian culture, you go to the northeast, you say, "अच्छा northeast में ऐसे लोग करते हैं." कश्मीर में ऐसे करते हैं.
हाँ.
Then you learn कि दुनिया में क्या है. दुनिया सिर्फ आपके जो घर में होता है वो दुनिया नहीं है, है ना? So then you begin to understand things and you begin to accept things and you begin to grow as a person.
Wonderful.
And we see that, in fact, on the internet and on social media, we see a lot of that. A growth and change and evolution. We see it. It's wonderful. I love it. I enjoy it.
Very nice. वैसे how much are you happy with the kind of roles that are being offered to you these days, especially the one in 4 more shots?
I'm very unhappy. Actually, I was very unhappy till very recently. क्योंकि जैसे I don't know, मैंने आपसे कहा कि when an actor does a certain role and people like it, then there is a tendency for producers and directors to cast them again as the same thing again and again and again. तो वही roles आते हैं, वही offers आते हैं. And as an actor, you have to be really careful to say, ठीक है, I want to work, but I'm not going to accept this because I will be completely typecast and stereotyped in it. क्योंकि क्या होता है, especially with popular actors, you see, more popular you get, more stereotyped and more typecast you get. And a lot of popular actors even start playing the same role again and again and again. And then, they're not even actors anymore. They don't get a chance to act. They are just famous people in movies.
Actually.
That is a danger for any actor, especially popular actors. And I have really tried to stay away from that. That's why I don't do much work. I do very, very little work. Every year मैं थोड़ा सा काम करता हूँ. And that's it. If I see there's something different, मैंने पहले ये कभी नहीं किया है. इस तरह का माहौल है, इस प्रोजेक्ट का, उसमें मैंने काम नहीं किया है या उस तरह का कैरेक्टर में नहीं किया है. Then I like to do it. I don't go by what. जैसे मैंने पहले पौरुषपुर के लिए भी बिहाइंड द सीन्स एक फोटो डाला था इंस्टाग्राम पे, which was a very tight close up. उसमें सिर्फ मेरी आंखें दिख रही थी, नाक दिख रहा था, तो वो नथ था, आंखों में काजल था, and my face was covered with गुलाल. तो बहुत सारे लोगों ने कहा, अच्छा नहीं ये क्या है, we want to see the masculine Milind Soman, the macho Milind Soman, यही है, यही उसे हम पसंद करते हैं. So I didn't pay attention to that. I said, अच्छा ठीक है, we'll see. A lot of people liked it also. They said, wow, this is a new look, it's amazing. But when the first trailer came out, the character trailer, जो बोरिस के scenes के साथ एक trailer आया था, which had snippets of the scenes, तब I think almost everyone said, wow, this is fantastic, because then they saw the character. It was just not Milind Soman ने काजल आंखों में लगाया है या नथ पहना है. They saw the character and they were really happy, and I was happy with that. कि ठीक है, they're not completely against it. I don't have to wait till they see the series for them to accept. They've already accepted it a lot.
Yeah, I have seen the comments on the trailer itself. मतलब हालांकि काफी कम झलक आपकी नजर आती है ट्रेलर में, लेकिन still people are liking the character because it's different, something special, है ना?
Yeah, and in Purashpur you'll see that all the characters have been developed so uniquely. They're really characters that you've not seen before on the Indian screen for sure. And of course the storyline, the way it's developed, I think people will really find it surprising. They'll find it intriguing. They'll find each character fascinating. So that is something I think quite special for Alt Balaji and Jaswant Entertainment to have created.
And how do you see digital these days as a popular medium of entertainment?
I think it's fabulous. I think it's a great opportunity for everybody to do better work. There is no pressure that there is normally for movies. Everything is not time bound. Like I said, I was watching serials जो पुराने थे, 15 साल पहले famous थे, 10 साल पहले famous थे. तो you're not saying कि अच्छा अगर एक weekend में ये सफल नहीं हुआ तो सारे पैसे डूब गए जैसे फिल्म्स में होता है. And you're really just chasing that success, But here you are actually trying to create something जो बहुत सालों तक लोग देखेंगे और एंजॉय करेंगे. And that really makes you think harder कि हम लोग क्या बना रहे हैं, and giving it that time to prepare and create, and that is interesting. And even for the audience can just choose at any time to watch. ऐसा नहीं कि फिर भाई अच्छा वो देखनी है क्योंकि एक हफ्ते में वो चली जाएगी. It's not like that. Something actually does well, and you can wake up one day in the middle of the night and say, oh, I heard a lot about this film. I can't sleep. Let me put it on. Let me watch it. That kind of freedom, even for the audience, even for actors, for producers, for directors, वो सिर्फ इस medium में हो सकता है.
Milind, since you have worked for TV, for films and digital as well, so what difference in terms of performance, if I ask, do you feel is there? Is there any?
So the main difference is this, the pressure, I would say. टेलीविजन में भी होता है कि every day there is an episode. Every day people are working 20 days a month. They're working 18 hours a day. You have to finish it because there is a deadline. वो टेप जानी है, upload होनी है, टीवी पे आना है इसी समय. But with OTT it's not like that. With films it's the same. Again there's so much pressure because budgets इतने high होते हैं. Again your window of success is very small. अगर इस हफ्ते में hit नहीं हुई तो फिर खत्म खलास. People have gone broke and their lives have been destroyed because of failure in films for films to work in that small window of time. But with OTT, like I said, और वो नया medium है, so we are still discovering what the advantages are. But I think it's fantastic. The kind of opportunity, जो opportunities है सबके लिए OTT के साथ, I think it's fantastic.
और अभी OTT पर भी थोड़ी सी लगाम कसने की बात कही जा रही है ना, INB मिनिस्ट्री को देने की बात की जा रही है, सेंसरशिप को लेकर कुछ पॉइंट्स आए थे सामने. सो व्हाट्स योर टेक ऑन दैट? ऐसा होना चाहिए या नहीं?
I don't think ऐसा होना चाहिए. I think censorship is something that is required only maybe in school. And in a normal society, I would say that everybody must have the choice and the freedom to make those choices. And they have to be informed कि अगर किसी को न्यूडिटी नहीं देखनी है, उनको बताना है कि इसमें न्यूडिटी है, तुम लोग मत देखो, नहीं देखेंगे. इसमें अब्यूजिव लैंग्वेज है, नहीं देखेंगे. ये 18 साल से ऊपर 18 साल से नीचे बच्चे नहीं देख सकते, तो the parents have to have that responsibility. So we are all, I would consider, mature, responsible people, and if we want to create a mature, responsible society, then that freedom of choice must be given. Otherwise, people will not become responsible, mature people. You can't treat everybody like children and say we know best कि आपको क्या देखना चाहिए और किस तरह से देखना चाहिए. They can decide for themselves. And the other thing is कि OTT platform पे लगाम डालना और बाकी के इंटरनेट पे नहीं डालना. It makes no sense. You see everything else on the internet where there is no regulation, and you can see the internet content from all over the world, and only on in the OTT platforms which are on the internet you will have censorship. It doesn't make sense. It makes no sense at all. Especially where you can tell people कि ये ऐसा है, ये content ऐसा है, and they can make their own choice.
Achha Milind, if we talk about your fitness, so you are getting more fitter day by day. So what inspires you? You are an inspiration for all of us, I believe.
Well, thank you for saying that. I just enjoy the feeling of being healthy. Bachpan se, because I was in sports and I was swimming competitively and I really worked hard. मैंने 5 घंटे रोज मैं swimming करता था till the age of 23, and that created a kind of understanding in me about physical health, physical fitness, mental health, mental fitness, emotional balance, which I can't explain to that. So I don't want to let go of that feeling जो मेरे पास है. I don't have to do much to maintain it. लोगों को लगता है कि मैं हर रोज दिन भर दौड़ता हूँ या दिन भर मैं जिम में रहता हूँ, but it's not true. I run whenever I have time. अगर मेरे पास 20 मिनट है मैं 20 मिनट दौड़ता हूँ, 2 घंटे तो 2 घंटे दौड़ता हूँ. अगर समय है तो नहीं दौड़ता. But exercise I do every day, but only 15-20 minutes, not more than that. और मैं जिम कभी नहीं जाता. So the most important thing I tell people about health and fitness is that it is very easy to be healthy and fit. You don't need any kind of equipment, and you don't need any extra time, and you don't need any special space, and you can become as fit as me if you think I'm fit.
Oh wow!
I'm just drinking my calorie.
Definitely.
और कभी-कभी गाजर का जूस कभी-कभी पिया करो.
क्या बात है. मतलब आज तक तो मैं सिर्फ इंस्पायर थी, लेकिन अब इनको फॉलो करने वाली हूँ जो आपने मुझे बातें बताई हैं. वैसे न्यू ईयर्स रेजोल्यूशंस कुछ?
मेरा हर साल रेजोल्यूशन यही होता है that I want to explore more.
Wow.
I want to do new things, interesting things जो मैंने पहले नहीं किया है. अभी 55 साल हुए, and what I've done in the last 55 years I want to do now. Other things. So every year my resolution is that I want to do more. That's it.
And what is the secret behind your youthfulness all the time?
I think it's my wife.
Oh, that's nice.
She keeps me young. She challenges me all the time.
Actually. So all the very best to you, Milind, for your future projects. And I must say, you keep getting fitter day by day, more fitter in 2021 too. So a very happy New Year in advance, and thank you so much for
Thank
talking to
you.
Punjab Kesari.
Thank you. And all the best to you as well.